Hey everybody, welcome to Fresh Start Friday. So this is the first day we are starting this Fresh Start program. This is a mindset reset, a life reset, just a whole entire re-gauge where we're at and where we want to go in our life, because obviously we have a totally different environment that we're living in now, and I see that as a huge opportunity because our environment shapes so much of our behavior. You know, there's this saying, obviously, you can't teach an old dog new tricks, and that is somewhat true in the sense that you just can't teach your old dog new tricks. But if you brought in an old shelter dog into your home, you would be able to teach that shelter dog all kinds of things, because that dog is now in a completely new environment. Just like if somebody else took your dog into their home, into a completely different environment, they would be able to teach that old dog different things. And so we have this immense opportunity right now to have a new environment forced upon us. This is being completely forced upon us, where we actually can't do the things that we want to do. We can't do the things that we signed up to do. And I think that there's this huge harsh reality that a lot of those things that we're not allowed to do, we are doing those strictly to distract ourselves from certain areas of our life. I'm not saying everything, okay? I'm not saying that there's nothing that you weren't doing for joy, for fulfillment, for thrill, whatever that was adding to your life. But I believe that a lot of those things that we are being pulled away from are a huge distraction to what we really want the most. We think that by doing this activity, this action, that is going to produce the emotional experience we want for ourselves. It's going to produce the emotional feelings within ourselves. We think that it's going to deepen our relationships. We think all kinds of these things. But what those can actually be is a distraction. It makes us feel like we're working towards something. It makes us feel like we're doing it because there's actually motion. There's motion happening, but you cannot confuse motion for forward action. So we are going to get started on this whole mindset reset. We are going to weed our metaphorical garden of our brain, and we're going to get to the root of what's really going on for us. And so this day one, I want to talk to you guys about your focus. I want to talk to you about what you're focused on right now, what you can control. And this, you know what, this is a huge opportunity for like this great metaphor that's happening with COVID, but this is something that we do every single day. This applies at all times. Like, yes, I am applying this directly to this situation that we're in, but these are great opportunities to exercise skills and train our brain and create these habits of thinking, these ways of thinking. It's creating those so that we can start to focus on the things that we can control. Because that is a huge skill. It is a huge skill that people who live really free lives, that they're not worried about what other people are thinking of them. They're not freaking out about people in traffic. They are not concerned about what their coworkers are doing. They're not concerned about these people are the ones, they just do not deal with that stuff because they are in control of their focus. And their focus is based on what they can control. And you know what? I mean, this is a perfect example of how we feel when we feel like we don't have any control. Like, I know how I felt when the government told me that I can't go outside my house because I have a sick family member. I know how I felt when my kids can't go to school. I can't send my kids to day home. I started to feel like I have absolutely no control as to what's going on. When I go to the grocery store and they say you can only buy one package of toilet paper at a time and it's only a package of 4. Like, obviously I'm not like shopping in the right place, but the thing is that when we feel like we have no control, when we are losing control, we are not happy. We're not in a state of peace. We're not in a state of happiness when we feel as though we don't have control. And that's the thing that I want to highlight, is the word feel. Feel as though, because we have, in every situation, we have as much control as we perceive. Okay, and so there's all kinds of things that we can control. We can control our thoughts, we can control our emotions, we can control our perceptions. And so right now, you know what? Right now, I cannot control who thinks this is a total sham, everybody's freaking out, overreacting, and even though they have a cold, they're going outside anyways. I can't control the behaviors of those people. I cannot control what people are posting on Facebook, but I can control my own ability to stay home and follow the protocols of the World Health Organization. I have that ability. I can control that. I can control my own behaviors. I can't control anyone else's. I can control how much I consume on social media. I can't control the ignorance on social media. I can't control the joking memes on social media. I can't control that. But I can control how much of that I consume. I can control how much of that I let in. And when I realize that, and when I pay attention to that, then I can begin to realize that I have the power. I have the ability. I can control boundaries with my phone, when I'm checking it, when I'm not checking it, I can control what news outlets I choose to listen to, and I choose to listen to only government updates. And from there, I choose to be informed. And you know what? When we do that, we can take information in, we can process it and become aware, because certain things happen when fear and anxiety come up in our mind. And we have this huge metaphorical example, but this is all the time. When fear comes up into our mind, we are having a triggered response, and then we can start to use our conscious brain to make a plan of how we're going to handle this event that is triggered some anxiety within us. And so then when we go to make this conscious plan, and our thoughts don't come up with a plan of how we're in control, we don't come up with a plan of how we can deal with this, and especially in a situation like the one we're in right now, we don't have a whole lot of information. We don't have a timeline. We don't know what's going on. And so when we cannot plan, then it reinforces okay, we need to continue to worry. And we just keep going on this cycle over and over and over. And so what we need to do is we need to get control of what we can plan. We need to get control of how we are going to be okay. We're going to need to get control of this ability to have faith in ourselves, faith in our family. We're going to lean and deepen our relationships with the people around us. We might have to reach out and ask for help. And those are all things that are really important to exercise. And if anything, I think that this is going to give society a huge lesson in humility. And I think that is so important. I think that this is going to be just a huge eye-opener that is going to make us all grateful for what we really do have. And you know, it's just this concept that we really have everything we need. That we have everything we need, and there is a whole lot of bonuses that we take for granted every day, and now that those are being ripped away from us, we get to go on this self-awareness journey and figure out what is the truly important things in life, and that's going to make us go forward even better than we were before. So I've crafted up some worksheets. You can print them out if you want, or honestly, if you just have a journal, just write the question at the top of the page, because I want you to reflect on what I'm focusing on that I can't control right now. Because typically, no matter what, in a day, I cannot micromanage and control my 5-year-old's behavior. I can influence it. And so when I focus on the behavior that my child is exhibiting that's making me really frustrated, I get really frustrated. But when I focus on what I can control, where I can control my parenting, I can control my parenting style, I can control how much I read about proper ways to parent. I can educate myself. I can own that, and I can control what I'm doing to help influence that situation. So when I'm focused on what my children are doing, and I make that their fault, and I put this external blame, and I feel like I am totally powerless and I have no control over my kids, that does not make me happy, right? But when I really take ownership of my own life, when my own actions, what I've got going on, that's important. So the first day of this, day one of fresh start, is we are going to start fresh with what we can control, and we're going to think about this current situation right now. Okay, we're going to have two sections that we're going to be working through in this journal. Okay, so as we're working through your journal, you're going to have a question: this situation right now, what's tripping me up? Like, what am I focusing on that's just really not serving me and totally out of my control in relation to exactly where I'm at right now? And then I also want you to skip a page and say, typically in my daily life, what am I focusing on that I can't control? And how do I want, like, when I go into the world now, because we have this opportunity to be still, to sit with our thoughts, sit with who we are, and we can really look at our character and start to work on that. And when we're brave enough to do that, when we are brave enough to look at the character of ourselves and look at the flaws that we have, then we can start to work and we can start to move forward. And I really, while this is absolutely mental health for right now, this situation, use it as an opportunity to build yourself. Use it as an opportunity to exercise these skills so that you can apply it to life, because this, I know, will not be a permanent situation. I have absolute faith and hope that this will not be a permanent situation. I do not want to put a timeline on what's going on right now, because timelines make people miserable. When we say, oh, it's going to be 2 weeks, 2 weeks goes by and we're more and more frustrated, we're more and more angry. It's going to be 2 months, 2 months goes by, we're more frustrated, we're more angry. This is also a lesson in life, okay? When we put timelines on when we expect things to get better, when we expect things to turn around, there is no timeline. There is not. If you think about its life as a whole, what is the finish line of life? It is death. So why are we in such a hurry to get things done all the time? Okay, we need to not put a timeline on what's happening. We just need to focus on what we can do, and we need to live, okay? I do not want this to also be this situation where we get in where it's just like, okay, I'm actually just preparing for when this thing is over. No, we are taking this right now. We're focusing on what we can control, and we can control the actions that we take every day to make sure we're living our life to the fullest. We are deepening our relationships with our kids. We are building our skills. We're becoming better people. We're working towards our dream in some small way. Okay? And so I want you to figure out, we're just in a new environment. The world is not shut down. Nobody pushed pause on the game and said this is over. Okay, it's nobody's pushed pause on anything. We're just playing with a new set of rules right now, and we're dealing with something that is unexpected. Okay, and even if I'm talking to you right now, and even if you have lost your job and there is no, I guess, immediate understanding of when you're going to go back to it, that is okay. Because you know what? This could be a huge opportunity. Maybe you don't want to go back to that job. Maybe you want to do something different. Maybe you want to educate yourself in something totally different. Maybe you want to, like, always work on that garage project, or always work on that product that you were going to invent, or always work on whatever. This is a huge opportunity for you to take a huge assessment of where you are in your life and start wherever you want to start. So I do not want to be what's the right word I'm looking for? I do not want to come across as being insensitive to the situation that everyone is in. I do not want to seem as though I'm insensitive. What I am proposing is that whatever situation you're in right now, I know that there is hope. I know that you can make progress. I know you can work towards something. And it might not look like that right now. But I am here to give you hope that looking at things in this very specific, different light and different perspective can open up all kinds of doors, can open up all kinds of possibilities that you just weren't quite looking at. And while you may feel like you have lost so much, I want you to understand, and I want you to feel. I want you to really feel as though this is a huge gift. This is a huge gift that we have been given to drive ourselves into our homes. This is a situation, is literally driving us home. And when I think about home, I think about where I grew up. I think about my childhood. I think about all of these experiences that shaped who I am today. And when we can go home and we can find a place at home where we can slow down enough to even get to know ourselves a little bit better. I don't even think half of us know who we are. And when we can do that, when we can slow down enough to get to know who we are and who we're becoming, this becomes one of the greatest gifts that is ever going to happen in history. And yes, it is going to hurt us economy. It is going to hurt the economy. It is going to hurt the health of people. People are going to lose their lives. But I want you to understand that this is a gift that you can use in your own life if you choose to take it. Because in the way that I'm looking at this is that I know tons of people already have died, and I know more will. I know that families are going to suffer. And if I waste that time, I will not be able to live with myself. Because when we do that, when we waste time, we are wasting the most precious gift that those who do not have that anymore, the ones that have already lost their life, they don't have that. And so I don't want to waste it. I don't want you to waste it. And that's what Fresh Start is all about. So grab your worksheets and, print them off if you choose, or just grab a journal and just reflect on those questions and think about your situation, what you can control. And taking back control is really the first step in creating whatever you want in your life. Okay? And when I say take back control, it is just a shift. It is just a shift of thinking, a shift of focus, because we always have it. We always have control, and we can always feel in control even in moments of absolute total chaos, just like we're in right now. So until tomorrow, I hope you guys are doing well. If you have any concerns at all, please reach out to me. I overheard a physician talking, and she was saying, I understand why we are doing the things that we're doing, and it's to protect people and to save people's lives. She's like, but I fear the amount of lives that are going to be ruined by these measures that are being taken, and I fear the rate of suicide from this pandemic is going to be more than the lives actually taken from the virus. And when I heard that, it was heart-wrenching. And it is heart-wrenching because I think that there's a piece of us that hears that knows that is possibly true. Not possibly, but probably true. Because when we completely lose our sense of self with the loss of a job, when we completely lose family, when we feel like we've absolutely lost everything and there is no hope, that is when we really start to spiral. So if you know of someone, get them help. If you need help, you can reach out to me. I'm not specially trained at all in suicide per se, so I'm not saying reach out if that's your struggle. There's hotlines for that, but even in the sense of, I'm just feeling a general unwell and I need someone to talk to, please reach out to me. I will be here in the best capacity that I can. I know, my family is also stretched emotionally, physically. We've got 4 kids at home now, and my wife is working from home. We're all at home, and I'm really trying to ensure that my family has me present and has me here in the moment. And my older kids, my daughter's gonna be 15 right away, 15, 12, and then I have 5-year-old twins. And my 5-year-old twins, they don't quite understand what's going on. Even my older kids, right? There's so much uncertainty going on, and I really believe that we need to be present for our families. So I'm not going to be checking my phone a ton. I'm not going to be posting a ton during the day, because I just really want to give my family that gift of presence in these uncertain times, because there's nothing worse for a child when they can sense all this anxiety, they can sense the fear in the adults around them. Things are not right. They're not going to school, they're not going to day home, we're not allowed to do all these things. And then when we are, we're physically present in the home, but we're not emotionally, mentally present, they feel as though, okay, when times of anxiety come up, the adults are not going to be here for us. So I do want to say that in that capacity. If you reach out and I don't respond right away, it is not because I'm ignoring you. You just got to give me some time. 5 a.m. to 8 a.m. are my times. And then also I try to get away for an hour during the day and then a bit in the evening. But, this is hard on everyone. Absolutely. So show compassion, focus on what you can control, and we will see you tomorrow.